Hey guys, okay, one of the things I ran into gluing this up is there's just simply put too many dominoes and dealing with the angles and everything. I elected to glue one side, then I'll come back and glue the other. Sure made life a lot easier. But as you can see, everything's fitting up pretty well, and I got some lacquer sprayed on the panels and the ends and everything to make sure. And but other than that, it's going together pretty good. So now what I got to do is glue the other side, and then we'll have the two panel sides glued up. And as soon as they dry a while, I'll be able to assemble the front and back, if you want to call it that. And we'll have a table standing. Okay, guys, staying with the same format of gluing up everything in as many separate sections as I can. This thing's kind of like trying to put a sweater on an octopus with all these angles. And so you can see what I've done. I've got the side frame. I got dye on my hand. I've got the side frames glued up and then attaching them. Then, as soon as that sets up, I can stand it up and only have to deal with the top and the other joints. I won't have to try to wrestle the whole thing. Makes sense and works. Okay, guys, one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm leveling the top of this leg. If you look right here, you can see where I've dished it out with the random orbit. Basically what I did is I took and put some, well, let me turn it off so you can hear me. I took some 80 grit and put on here, and I got in here and started working it like this, avoiding getting here or here. I don't want to take a chance on dipping any of that out. Now Billy's here helping me some, because he's got a shoulder. Go ahead, Billy. So what he's doing is just taking a little block plane, and we're going to work it to the corner. I'm going to work that corner on down. Grab that rasp too, Billy. And then I've got this rasp, and I can get in here and just simply
use it like a hand plane.
Use it like a hand plane and take those corners down. But again, we want to level this and not dip out in here or over here. So just work it down slow and easy. Get it nice and level. I've already done this one, and we're good. Now, that said, if you use a random orbit to do this, use an aggressive paper because you're on this end grain. And if you use, a 120 or a 180 or something, it sands so smooth that it's going to, number one, take a long time. The second thing is it's not going to want to cut as level. Remember something. Coarse grits are construction grade. This is what we use to shape and level and whatever. When we start hitting 120, 180 and up, those are smoothing grades. So the coarser the sandpaper, the easier it will be to level this and to flatten it. Got that? But again, be careful out here and over here. Okay? Got it? Go ahead, Billy. Let me get around here. All I'm seeing is your hand.
End grain's tough.
End grain's tough, yeah. Now, I want to mention something. Hold up a second, Billy. You do not want to go from this direction out. If you go from this direction out, what you're going to wind up doing is you're going to wind up chipping this edge out. You want the plane coming in.
Depending on what you're using, that chip can be pretty spectacular.
Yeah, okay, be good. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Then there's the Charles Neal Let's Cheat. Then again, concentrate on the back of it. You can blend this front end level a lot easier when you don't have that much material to work with. Sorry about that. Anyway, you get the point. Just take your time, get them nice and level, and that's what we're going to do there. Okay, we'll be back. Sorry guys, this is Casual Thursday. And this is the classic Charles Neal t-shirt that you bandsaw the sleeves out of. I hate sleeves.
Check your measurements.
Huh?
You got a short sleeve on one side and a 3/4 sleeve on the other. I don't think so.
All right, that's good enough for now. Okay. Now that we've got this beast together, we can get on with the program. All right, here's what we got to look at. Let me turn this thing up. What we got to do, oops, I got a little chip right there. I'll fix it. All right. When the drawer goes in, we got to have a runner or a tilt rail. We got to have something, we talked about this, to keep the drawer from tipping up. And we also have to be able to attach the top. Okay, I am at 36 on the bottom. 32, yeah, I'm 32 and a half on the up here. So that leaves me what? 3.5 inches difference. What do you mean okay?
I believe you.
Yeah, something like that. $36 minus 32 and a half. 3.5. So that leaves me 1 3/4 inches. And I think early on we kind of talked about 1 1/4 inches something. But I like nice overhangs. They just, and if we look at the picture, you can see, if you can see right in here, right on this corner, the original had a pretty significant overhang. It just makes it look good. So, if I set this up at 1 3/4 inches for an overhang, that's going to look good. To come to this edge, that's going to put me at 3 5/8. But we have to remember something. That drawer, the edge of it's going to be right here. So we got to hide that. Plus we got to get our cleat on there, the tilt rail and to attach. So I'm looking at 1 inch. let's think about that a minute. Assuming that we make the drawer sides 3/4. We don't want it to be right at the edge of that drawer. We want it to come over just a little bit. Make sense? So if I go 1 3/4, 3 5/8, if I go to 4 5/8, I could actually go to 4 3/4. I think that would look good. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We'll be right back. We're going to find out right now. Okay, before I get into the top, one other thing I'm going to show you. What I'm going to do here, because remember, we just got a domino in here. And I feel sure that's sufficient to hold it. But for you guys who would elect to use a pocket screw, I want a little bit more. So here's the way we're going to do this. What I'm going to do is put a corner block in here. Now you can see I have notched it, and the reason for that is my tilt rail right here is going to be cut on a 45 as well, and it's going to set in here. That's going to allow me to glue into this corner, and I can sneak a screw in both directions. It's also going to give me an area here I can use to secure the top. But I want to caution you on something. You have to remember this surface and this surface is still cut on that 5-degree angle. So when you make your tilt rail, as well as when you make your material, when you cut this, it's got to be on the 5-degree angle. Understand? But that could be difficult. I mean, to cut it on a 45 and a 5-degree, yeah, we can do it. But here's something else we can do. If this sets in here on the angle, as long as it's tight, top and bottom, you see where it's sticking out right here, just like the leg was. All we got to do is mill that down once it's installed, and we're good to go. But the tilt rail itself has to be cut so that when it sets in here, it mates up. See if I got this right. So that we create, this a little long, so that we create a level top. You got that? Okay. I told you when we started this thing, this is a exercise in angles. I don't need to do any more exercises. Okay, I'm going to go over here and rip a couple pieces that we're going to make the top out of, and let's see how it looks. All right, I'm not perfect by any means. I'm talking about my gap.
I was so ready to
Yeah, you don't need to say anything. Yeah, but we're at 1 3/4. Actually, a little light on that edge. Yeah, but anyway, what do we think? Yeah, I think that's going to work out well. And I've got my room in here for my tilt rail and so forth, so on. Yeah, I like it. So that's what we're going to go with, okay? Now, Candy, you're being a nuisance. Billy let her out. She just came in. I don't know what she wants. Anyway, that's Candy. Okay. Now, something we're going to have to think about. what we have now created in order for us to get our frame in here to do, our drawer guides and everything like that, we have got to build everything from the bottom up. Understand? Because this is a wedge. All right. You can't get this one in or this one in from the top down.
Okay, so you're going into it from the bottom, but you're actually starting at the top and coming back towards you.
Well, I'll put the upper stuff in, but what's going to happen is we've got to get a rail in here that's going to extend past in order for the drawer to ride on. Make sense? But because everything is on these angles, what I want to do is let me cut a little hunk off this. The way I want to fit this in is to come in like this. In other words, again, reinforcing as I go, I want to attach the drawer frame to this piece, but I also want it to overlap the leg. Now that's going to create me a bit of an issue. Well, not really, but what's going to happen is this is going to be square and straight. In other words, I don't have to tilt this. Or I shouldn't, I don't think. Let me look. Yeah, that's right. I don't have to tilt that to come straight back. But I am out here on this edge. Am I making sense? So anyway, because we want this directly parallel to this. Or I don't know if parallel is the word, straight up and down. So what I'm going to do, I'll figure all that out. And then of course we'll have the actual drawer runner run front to back. But we have to have something back past the leg. In other words, what would happen is the drawer would run on this part, but we got to have some meat back here to put a guide on so it doesn't, just like any other drawer. So that's going to take a little engineering, but nothing bad. Okay? Now, I'm going to do all of this in here out of poplar. I am going to do the top up there that we was looking at earlier out of cherry, just so if you look through that glass and you see anything, we've got a nice cherry material in there. Does that all make sense? So, between now and the next time, I'll get all that figured out so I can show it to you, and let's get on with it. I'm going to go ahead and put the top together. It's a miter, and throw a couple dominoes in it or whatever, and that's it. Whew, busy. Okay, I told you I'd tell you this week about the shoulders. Well, here's what they're talking about. Again, we haven't made any final decisions. But they're wanting to do what's called a reverse shoulder replacement. It's kind of unique. Hold on, I'll be right back. This is what they're talking about. I think that's a number 12 screw in there.
Somebody sends you out a
Yeah. I asked the doctor, I said, you do that, you are going to put some Loctite on that screw, aren't you? He didn't. These guys don't have a lot of sense of humor. Go figure. But anyway, here's what happens. They call it a reverse because what they do is they go into the socket in the shoulder and they actually put a ball. Thus reverse. And then they put this piece in your arm, and this is what allows the shoulder to articulate. And unlike the old shoulder replacements, you lose pretty much no range of motion, and you gain a lot of strength. And no pain. So, again, I'm not sold on the idea just yet, but we'll do something. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep going the best we can, and that's about all you can do.
At least they said you had an option.
Huh?
The place told you had no options, right?
Yeah, he was like, well, again, I went to the University of Virginia, and this is a college, and so it's a teaching facility. And this doctor, he's the top doctor, one of the top doctors in the nation, and he's the professor and yada, 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 and he does all these athletes and all this stuff. So anyway, they're all in there, and you got him and 4 other doctors, and they're blah, blah, blah. And of course, they keep wanting to check your range of motion of how you do this and how well you can move and whatever. This little doctor looked at me and he said, "Sir, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." He said, "How do you move it at all?" I said, it works when it works, and when it quits working, then so do I. Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, it was pretty interesting. So, but in as much as repairing it, there's nothing much there to repair. And it, just to be honest, straight up with you, it's just wore out. And I feel sure there's enough of you guys out here that know what I'm talking about.
Out of warranty.
Huh?
And it's out of warranty.
Yeah, it's wore out and out of warranty. You got that right. So that's what's up with the shoulder. So we'll see. But anyway, back to this thing. I'm going to get this fitted in, and we'll go from there. I'm sitting here trying to think about this thing. And ain't nothing happening. No, I'm good. No, we just got to get it done now. But in the beginning of this show, you go see the little videos. You saw the videos that I filmed with my phone on gluing it up. That's glue it up in sections. I cannot emphasize that enough. Just trying to get this whole thing together, even after doing the paneled sides as a unit, but just trying to get front and back and everything all one shot, even dry fitting, nah. But it went together quite well, so I'm pleased. So, okay, guys. Oh yeah. This is webisode 400.
That's a lot.
That's what happened over here. No. Anyway, okay, guys. Webisode 400. That's a lot. Jeez. Didn't I just say that?
That's a lot. I'm saying it too.
How many years?
When did we start?
A bunch.
Yeah, just dividing by 50, give or take, would be, 8 years?
Been a while. But anyway, and if I have my way, we'll do another 8. Okay, guys, I'll catch you next week, and let's get on with this thing. Stay warm.